Everyone, today it's time to talk about some more PlayStation 3 titles from my collection. We are at a new episode. This is my biggest collection. If you enjoy this video, make sure you stay until the end. Leave a like, comment, subscribe, and let's see our first game. And this is Final Fantasy X and X2 or 10, 10-2 HD Remaster. I was looking for this title for quite a while, and not that long ago I succeeded. I like these HD remasters on the PlayStation 3. There is plenty of them. This is not really part of the official HD remaster series or the classics HD, but I think it's still pretty neat. These are big classics, first print bonus and whatnot, so it's like extra stuff from 13. That's pretty cool. I like Final Fantasy, although I never really played it. I want to like it and want to try it one day, but there are just so many games. I don't even know where to start. I guess 10-2 would be, or 10 and 10-2 would be a nice one to start with, because I want to play the more modern ones, not really into the really old ones. But Final Fantasy 10, 10-2, that's pretty cool. Next one is, of course, another Final Fantasy game, Final Fantasy 13. This is one of the Final Fantasies where I'm I'm interested in it. It's not exactly the most popular one in the series, but I guess a lot of people like it. I actually have, for some reason, two manuals. I don't know why this copy has two manuals, but still pretty cool. Oh yeah, this is the US version of the manual, and the game itself is the European version, if you can see this. But yeah, this is pretty cool. It's one of the interesting ones. And of course 13 got a sequel, 13-2, and another sequel, Lightning Returns, Final Fantasy 13. So I guess 13 was popular enough to have so many games, and Final Fantasy 13 series or games are actually not exclusive to PlayStation. They are on Xbox as well, but it's one of the only games that are superior on the PlayStation 3, because the Blu-ray discs has much bigger capacity. So I guess the cutscenes are not compressed, so they are in much higher quality. And I actually really intrigued by the concept of Lightning Returns, because it's like the sort of what do you call it, like time period, not time period, how do you would call that, like time limit, where you have to play, that you can only play for how do you say that, like a limited time. So you have like a ticking clock, and then if you fail, then you lose in the game. So yeah, Final Fantasy is pretty cool. Something that is a bit more pricey game, it's Folklore. I really wanted to get this. I got it like, well, a year and a half, maybe 2 years ago. I was hesitant to get this because it's usually really expensive, but I got it for much cheaper than it usually is. The only caveat is that the back is in like whatever weird languages. It's like French and I guess Dutch, I think, the back. But the game itself is in English. And I was like, yeah, I can get this game for, it's still more expensive than the usual PlayStation 3 games, but I can get this one for a good price, or I can wait for it and it's gonna get just more expensive if I'm waiting for an English copy. So I was like, yeah, it has a really nice inside art, and the game itself is fully in English, so I can just play it, and I saved some money and I got a really good deal on it. So I think I got it for like $40, which is, you know, pretty expensive, but the game goes for 80 normally, so I don't know. This is one of those sadly forgotten games. It's like a really fun, cute RPG. One of the really early PlayStation games is F1 Championship Edition. I got this from a friend of mine. This was one of his original PlayStation 3 games when he got the console early in its life cycle. And F1 Championship Edition is, I would say it's a really cool game. This is the last Sony made Formula 1 game, because after this, Codemasters got the license and they have been making the F1 games. Now with EA for quite a long time, and I think this game is pretty solid. Apart from other sports games, I think the Formula One titles are fun because the racing is pretty solid in pretty much every game, and this one has like really cool weather effects where the game looks really sweet and awesome. And it's a shame that Sony only made one. This is the last Sony Formula One title. I think they had like some really impressive demos about the future of the series, but then they just left it alone. So I guess that's it for them. Fracture. It's one of those sort of double A, not really triple A titles where there are some like interesting concepts and they just built a game around it, and it's not necessarily the best game, but they had a gimmick that they put into the game. And Fracture is like the explosive environment and terrain. Yeah, you can see it's like terrain deformation, so you can like deform and change the whole layout of the world. That's pretty cool. And this is one of those titles. There are a lot of these on the PlayStation 3 where the creators were like, okay, let's do something unique, let's do some fun mechanic or physics simulation in the game. And Fracture is just that, and that's pretty cool. Sadly, we don't really have a lot of games like this where they're just happy to experiment, but sometimes games are just like this, and nowadays it's like, oh yeah, we have to make a product that's good for a wide variety of people, or like a wide range of people. Full Auto Battle Lines 2. This is like a vehicular combat game made by Pseudo Interactive and published by Sega. Customizable weapons, physical landscape, that sort of deal. It's on the same vibe as Split Second and Burnout. And the first Full Auto Battle Lines was only on Xbox, I think. And the second one is a bit jank, if I'm honest. It's a good game, but it runs at 1080p, but it's like 30 FPS barely. But if you force set the console and force the game to be in 720p, then the game runs much better with the lower resolution. So yeah, Full Auto Battle Lines, it's pretty cool. Next up is an interesting one. It's Fuse by Insomniac. So basically, Insomniac wanted to make its own superhero type of game, and they invested a lot in it. I guess Sony wasn't really into it, so EA was the publisher. Insomniac, they made the Ratchet and Clank and Sly Cooper games, and also Resistance in this generation. But they wanted to do something that's pretty unique at this time. Split screen co-op. It's like a shooter. They wanted it to be like a big franchise, so they even made like comic books and whatnot. But yeah, it really didn't work out. It's a shame because Insomniac tried something, but now I think Insomniac is better than ever. They are pumping out games, and they're pumping out really good games fairly quickly, with like the Ratchet and Clank and now the Spider-Man games, and they are just some of the best superhero games ever. So there is that. And I guess this was like a failed experiment for them. They went to EA to do their own thing, and it didn't really work out. Something that also didn't really work out was G.I. Joe The Rise of Cobra. It is a movie-based game, the G.I. Joe movie series and whatnot, and Hasbro's license, and then also EA published this, which is weird. It is really not a good game. I got it for really cheap because I collect a lot of different titles, and I was like, yeah, I should get these movie licensed or TV show licensed games, and this is one of them. I still have to try it. It looks like it's not going to be great, but it does have 2-player co-op, so maybe it's fun to play with a friend. Next up is a legendary bad game on the PlayStation 3, and it's to be honest, it's actually not that bad. It's Genji Days of the Blade. So this is the funny game where Sony announced it on like E3, and then they were like, oh, this is gonna be great. It's like really historical events, and you can replay like real Japanese historical battles, and then it's like really historically accurate, and then you can just switch characters and fight a giant crab. So I don't know where this all went wrong. It still looks pretty good. There are some really cool fighting styles and whatnot, but the game is really janky. So I don't know. Okay, I have this like a funny game. This is Germany's Next Top Model. I bought a bunch of games from a friend of mine, and then he had like a ton of fantastic titles, to be honest. And he also had this. Yeah, you can basically play the Next Top Model game and you can pose and whatnot. The bad thing is, it's only in German, and it doesn't even have a platinum trophy. So I don't know. The trophies for this game is going to be on my PlayStation account forever, and it's embarrassing. But it's kind of funny that they made a game for Germany's next top model for the PlayStation 3. Something that is not embarrassing, it's Ghostbusters the video game. It's basically a third Ghostbusters movie, and it's really good. I did enjoy it. It's not a long game, but it's pretty good. It's faithful to the original movies. All the original characters are back, basically the four main characters. It's just really good. It's one of those games that already got a re-release on modern platforms, but this game actually has two pretty similar but completely different games. So basically there is the new gen version with the PC, PS3, 360 version, and that's what got ported in the later releases. But there is also a VPS2 title that is like cartoony and it's totally different. So it's pretty cool that for some reason they released the same game under the same title, basically Ghostbusters the video game, with different developers and completely different game, but at the same time on different platform. It's crazy. Yeah, one of the best classics HD collections are these are the God of War collections, and I enjoy them both. The first one, this doesn't even have the classics HD badge of honor, because it was, I think, one of the earliest these remastered collections Sony made. I think it's probably the earliest. The first two God of War games, God of War and God of War 2, it's a really solid collection. It runs really well, 60 frames per second. Some extra content is not in this, as far as I know, from the first game, so it might not be the definitive edition of the game, but it's still really good to play it on a modern console. Well, it's only on PlayStation 2 and 3 at the moment. There are rumors about remakes of these games, and I don't know, I just want new games. I enjoyed these. God of War 2 is probably my favorite in the series, and the reboot as well, so those are probably my favorites. But yeah, this is both a really solid collection. And then the other one, the games are solid, and then the other one was the collection volume 2, Chains of Olympus and Ghost of Spartacus. So these are the PSP games, and they run at full 1080p with 60 FPS, and you can also play it in 3D. So that's really impressive. I think both games are really good. Ghost of Sparta is absolutely fantastic. It is like crazy good. It was made by Ready at Dawn. Such a talented studio. Sadly, they are not making games anymore. They closed down. But holy shit, God of War is great. And both of these collections, like the first two games and the PSP games, are actually really good. And these collections are pretty expensive now. Like it's $60, I think. Usually the prices for these, which is kind of insane, because I got these for like 10, brand new actually, or even less than 10, I'm not sure. But I got this for really cheap back in the day, and now they are really expensive. So I guess it's kind of Sony's fault, because they never really released these games on the new platforms, only on the streaming service of the PlayStation Plus, whatever. And that's almost true, but this is also on PlayStation 4. This is God of War 3. This is actually the game I got my PlayStation 3 for originally, because I played the first two God of Wars, and then, the end of God of War 2 has like a huge cliffhanger, and then it leads to this game. I think it's a really solid game, not the best in the series. It's kind of similar to the other ones, but it's really good. And it looks amazing on the PlayStation 3. So, you know, there was the PS4 remastered version, and that's like kind of like a why are they remastering it this way? Because it didn't really add that much extras outside of the... It runs a little bit better, and then it has a photo mode or something. But yeah, God of War 3 is still a really, really solid, really good title. And then there is the weird bastard child of the series. This is God of War Ascension, the fourth game that basically ruined the series for a lot of gamers. I like this. It's only 720p and 30 FPS, so they went with the better visuals. I don't know. I'm not really a big fan of this game. It's fun. It's very short. They added, yeah, you can see they added like multiplayer, which is sad. It's not, yeah, nobody plays God of War for the multiplayer. There was also an exclusive demo with this game for The Last of Us, which is really fun. I think it was on like a, yeah, it's on like a code or something. See, it's like they really put a lot of stuff into the promotion of this game. And also, it has really cool box art. It fits into the original God of War story well enough. It's a prequel to the series, but I don't know, not a lot of people were very impressed with this. And another game that nobody was impressed with is this one. It's Golden Axe Beast Rider by Secret Level and Sega. This game is supposed to be really awful. I was like, yeah, I'm not gonna get this. I haven't played this yet, but as you can see, this is like ugly green helmet people, and they wanted to reboot the series, so the Golden Axe series, but yeah, it was not the way to go with it. It's just really a not good game, not a good game. And finally, GoldenEye Reloaded 007. I already talked about the James Bond games. This is the weird one where they made it with basically Call of Duty in mind. So it was made by one of the Activision's Call of Duty studio, basically. So it's a lot of this is based on the engine, and they were like, oh, this is the return to formula. So this is like the original GoldenEye on the N64, and we have all this modern stuff in there, and 4-player split screen. But then it was a big letdown for everyone because it's really just like a Call of Duty with James Bond skin on it, I guess. So, you know, didn't really work out that well. And that's it for today. Some hidden gems, some good games, some classics. I would recommend any God of War games, maybe not Ascension. Full Auto Battle Lines is pretty fun. Folklore is really good, and also, you know, you can never go wrong with some Final Fantasy. Well, that's it for today. Thanks for watching.